don't show up to the airport with a real ID soon, you will be paying a new fee to fly. Today, the TSA announced that you must have a real ID or passport when you go through airport security, or you will face a $45 fee. Now, we first heard about this proposal a few weeks ago, you might remember, and the proposal then was an $18 fee. Well, now we know now it is $45, and this will be going into effect on February 1st. Here's how it works. You will pay the fee once to cover a 10-day travel window, and you can pay online before you show up to the airport. The agency says this fee is necessary to cover the costs of enhanced ID verification. If you don't...
All right, shalom, shalom, shalom. All praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, which is to say in the Paleo Hebrew, Yahweh, which is the name of our Heavenly Father, meaning He is. Bahashem, which means in the name. Yahweh Shai, which means He is our salvation. And those are who the world ignorantly calls God, the Heavenly Father, and Jesus, His only begotten Son, who, by the way, only came for the Israelites, all right? Now, as you see, the direction or path that they're heading towards is that they're trying to get everyone on board or pay to get on board, okay? What are we talking about? As you see from the little clip that was played for you, beginning next year, 2026, February the 1st to be exact, they're saying in order for you to board a plane here in America, you must have a comply digital ID or a passport, all right? You must have a real ID, or a passport. And if you don't, you will have to pay a $45 fee to board their airplanes, okay? Because why? TSA has put in all these provisions to use verification, and it costs money. Or so that's the excuse that they're using to get you, the consumer, to acquiesce, okay? Because what you're going to come to realize is that you're going to either have to comply with this B system once it's fully operational and up and running, or you're going to have to go about your own separate way, okay? There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, all right? And they're getting you primed and prepped for that scenario, okay? Because no longer will you be able to say, I don't want to take or get a digital ID. Okay, well, pay the $45, okay? Matter of fact, they're not even going to let you get in line. They're going to screen you before then, all right? So get your $45 ready via however you want to pay for it. More than likely, you're going to have some type of credit card, all right? So get your $45 ready to board the fee because you didn't want to go get a compliant real ID or a passport, which could be easily taken care of on your phone. You can get it digitalized, you see? And every time you don't come prepared, guess what? You're going to have to pay that $45 fee. All right, now it covers you for 10 days, but if you go in a little bit longer than 10 days, guess what? You got to pay $45 to come back. All right, so we see the move that this devil is putting into place, all right? And we see the excuses or the justification of him using it because why? Eventually, this whole system is going to go digital, all right? And it's not going to be profitable for them to put up a digital system and not have their citizens comply to that digital system. All right. If you want to be what they would call a hardhead, well, you're gonna have to pay for that. Okay. Or if you want to be what they will call a go against the grain, you have to pay for that. All right. And if you got deep pockets, go ahead and see how long it can last. Okay. Because who knows how much your first offense may be 45, but it may continue to go up after that if they come to find out that you're a repeated offender. All right. By the time you get to your fourth or fifth, time flying without having the proper documents, you could be paying $200 to go fly from one state to the next. Okay. So you will get on board with this beast system eventually when it's all up and running. Because why? They're going to say, we don't put all this time and resource into it, and you have to comply or else pay the price. All right? You're going to have to pay the price to board to get on board. Okay? And this is the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 11. It reads, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. And we see where this is heading to. All right? We see it. Okay? We have the eyesight to see that they're not outright telling you that in order for you to get on board, you have to get on board. Okay? And get on board with what? The real ID. All right? Which is all going digital. All right? And if you don't want to get on board, guess what? You're going to get off board. Okay? You're not going to board their planes. All right? But if you want to pay the $45, well, guess what? Go right ahead. Okay? So it's up to you. Okay? If you see it, you see it. If you don't, well, you'll see it when you get up at the grocery store and your grocery store said, well, we can't take cash anymore. So all you got is cash. All right, we'll have to charge you for it. We have to charge you a percentage. Okay? They're going to make using cash or just the old ways more difficult. All right? You carrying an ID that's not a real ID with verification, you carrying cash when you could be putting your wallet onto a digital ID, you're going to have to pay for that inconvenience, okay? And this is all leading up into the beast system, all right? Because there will be no more trying to stay off the radar or stay off the grid. No, either you on the grid all the way or you're not. And that's just what it's going to come down to, all right? And they're prepping the people right now, all right? We're seeing it. You may not think nothing of it because it's just an airplane, you know, and it doesn't affect you because you don't fly like that anyways. But what's going to happen when they bring it to the grocery store chains? What's going to happen when they bring it to the, you know, wherever you go, you shop at, okay? What's going to happen when these retail stores start charging you an extra percentage, okay? So it's incrementally that they're doing it step by step, all right? So you've been warned, okay? Because this damn devil, he's going to make his move, all right? In 2026, it's a good probability or a good possibility that, you know, we can still, we can see some things that's going to shake up the place a little bit, all right? Now let's go ahead and finish up and close out 1 Peter 5 and 8. This is 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 8. It reads, be sober, be vigilant. See? So if you see where this is heading to, you already know what's coming, okay? They're going to eventually tell you that if you don't have it, you can't board it, okay? Because you can keep paying that cash, but you can't comply. You can't get on board, all right? And they're going to eventually take away your freedom one step at a time, all right? Either by waiting you out or buying you out, all right? Because you ain't gonna be able to keep paying those $45 if they keep putting in, adding on fees. $45 this time, $100 the next time, $200 the third time. At that point, it don't even make sense to fly because the fees is outweighing the price of the flight, all right? Unless you just want to stick it to them, all right? But eventually they're going to say, no, we can't even have you to fly, all right? This is just giving you that grace period to get right. They're just using that $45 as a grace period because eventually they're going to say no real ID, no digital passport, no boarding. Simple as that, okay? So be sober, be vigilant because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour, all right? And trust and believe, it ain't going to stop at just $45. This is just to hold you over to the real, you know, requirements come, all right? So with that being said, pray someone was edified through this lesson. And until the next time, if it be the Lord's will, stay strong, stay in the faith. We're almost home. Shalom. Peace.